Okay.
So, yeah, very warm welcome and a very nice evening outside. And I'm pretty sure we will also have a wonderful evening today. And it's my very special honor to moderate this event, to have a legend with us, Sri Trilok Gurtu, a music maverick, as we have mentioned, and one of the greatest percussionists, and so-called, when you want to call in a colloquial language, I don't know, maybe later, Trilokji himself can say a drummer. So, and he has, I do not know, I don't want to go through the list of awards and recognitions the legend has received in his music career till now. And also he comes from a music family as well. And he has literally been with all the very greats. Of course, his mother, who has been a great inspiration to Trilokji, Shobha Gurtu, and he has been with Zahir Hussain, the great L. Shankar, Shankar Mahadevan, Hari Prasad Shaurashia, the Mishra brothers, and Sultan Khan. So I can keep on naming a lot, but I think it's not about me telling the whole thing. Rather than today is all about learning about this maestro, somebody who has lived a life with great humility and very humble personality. With all his awards and recognition, he has even today never showed that, sometimes the musicians, many of them do, after some point of time they have received something, they start to feel that they are above the world. But this gentleman, this legend, has never, and even today he's living a very simple life over in Germany. And we all from the Indian diaspora can be very, very proud. And so this is one of the special evenings of the Wednesday Dialogue series. Before I move on to the series, actually, I would like to give the floor, as always, the first respect to our Honorable Consul General, sir, because this is an Consul General event. It's the baby of the Consulate General of India. So, Consul General, sir, thank you very much for being here. Thank you for being all the series as well. And please do offer your welcome words for the evening. Please, sir.
Thank you very much, Bala, once again for hosting this event. I think a great part of the success of this event is thanks to your capable hosting of the event. So today we are very proud and privileged to have Mr. Trilok Gurtu as our special guest for the Wednesday Dialogue series. He is, I think, one of the most internationally well-known Indian musicians. I think everybody knows him in the music world. And he's also been acknowledged as one of the most innovative and groundbreaking percussionists in the world. And he has been performing, I think, for more than the last 40 years, since the 70s, if I'm not mistaken. And the tabla maestro, Mr. Zakir Hussain, I think he has said that if Trilok Gurtu played only the tabla, he would have been the best tabla player in the world. I think that's a great compliment from a great maestro, who is also one of my favorite Indian musicians. So, and today we are privileged and honored to have him as our guest. So I just want to say that I really look forward to this interaction today evening. And I thank all the participants in the Zoom and also on YouTube for coming online. And I hope we have a very good interactive session. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, before we officially start the program in the sense of discussing, we would like to kindly request you, we are taking a minute of silence in the honor of all those who have died in India due to the COVID pandemic, a mark of respect and rest in peace for all those who are in India. So let's take a minute of silence, and after that we will move into the program, please.
Died in India due to the COVID pandemic, a mark of respect and rest in peace.
Silence, and after that we will move into the program, please.
died in India due to the COVID pandemic, a mark of respect and rest in peace.
Thank you. Thanks a lot for that. And thank you very much for this. It's a very important solidarity signal that we are sending across India to our brothers and sisters who are going through a very, very difficult and challenging situation. And we all pray that each and every life is not lost who are really in terms of need of everything. And we also need to thank the government of Germany on this occasion that they have sent very needy medical equipments, oxygen concentrators, and many other equipments that has landed. And also Consulate General of India has also sent details to all the diaspora members and others who are willing to support. The details have been sent around, so please do feel free. And if you have any doubts and clarifications, if you or somebody is asking you how to support, please do get in touch with the Consulate General of India for the cause. So let's move into that. Trilok ji, let me start this way. Actually, you have been, let me say, Oscar is basically for acting, but usually people also say, so the downbeat pole, which is equivalent or can be called as the Oscar for music in terms of it, and you have touched that for many, many times, and you have received that, and it is something, let's say at that point of time, I do not know now, you may be correct, even any German musicians could actually get that great honor. Can you just say a word about it before we move into it? Because I was just fascinated by that, and maybe you can give a little bit of what is that actually and how is it about it?
Namaste. It's very hard for me also today, hearing all the news from India and to, keep myself contained. I thank my country for making me what I am. Also because of my Indian background, that's why I'm known for that, not for how I've learned, how I was educated in India. That's how I got all these awards, and how all my gurus who have helped me. So I thank them all. But the downbeat pole was something very, very American. Like also the Oscar is very American. Also the music side of it, when you get the. So it was very big in sense that the people who are traveling, who are touring and playing a lot, who were seen a lot, they were judged by the critics and also judged by the public. And that means you have to tour a lot in America. The Americans have to see you. And there's also a European side, which was little small that time. So the Europeans were not considered as the top class musicians. Leave aside Indians, nobody knew very much about Indian musicians then. And even now it's a little better. So I used to play with a group called Oregon, which was an American-based group. And how I came to that, it's a long story. I will not say it because it will just consume a lot of time. And so I used to play a lot, 3 times a year or 2 times a year. I used to tour a lot in America. And then I played with the great John McLaughlin, where also Zakiru was playing, Zakiru Hussain. That was the group. And people were finding who is this Indian guy who's playing like this. Because see, when I went to America, I was not accepted as person coming from somewhere doing what I'm doing. They were not used to seeing all this Indianness in the music. They were the ones who were calling the shots probably. And I went there, and the episode goes that when I was playing with R.D. Burman in the Bollywood, I went to Berkeley College to study. They didn't accept me. So I said, okay, then I'll come with my own music and I'll study myself, and I left America. I didn't want the green card. I didn't want anything. I wanted to go back to Europe. But that will come to the other questions of that. So then I played a lot there. And what they said, this is not jazz. This is not rock. This guy is something completely different. What is this? And this was a compliment. And that's where I won it 7 times in a year. There were no Indian also who got it. But the point was nobody made a fuss about it. Nobody spoke about it. Also in Germany, I think if a German musician would have they would have created a havoc here. 7 times in a row, a German musician's winning it. Nobody spoke about it. That was actually a sad part. And I was also contributing to Germany, not only to India, because I live here and I enjoy living here. So
of course, I mean, Trilok ji, you are absolutely correct. I mean, at the end of the day, you are here. That means whatever contribution you make, it's a contribution for both the country of your birth and country where you live. Yeah, so that's how we all see it. Let me, because there are fascinating things, as you said, this 1.5 hours is, I'm pretty sure, is not going to be enough. But let me start. You are born in a very, very music family, if I put it so. And music is not something, probably music is something even before birth, you start to probably hear music. That's how I see it. And how is the journey? I mean, how was it for you as a young kid, born into a music family? What was that different for you when you were in the school days? And how was that love for the music that you developed? Can you go through us that life of yours?
See, I was born in Bombay, so I always spoke Marathi. That's my mother tongue, Marathi, of course, and Hindi, of course. But where I grew up, there were a lot of Gujarati people, so I also spoke Gujarati. And they were all very inclined in that whole building. So we used to stay with my grandmother, Menkabai Shirodkar. She was a great, dancer and a singer, and she won the awards with Chow En Lai. You remember, from China, the president, she gave her the awards. And from morning till afternoon, night, there was music, like breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So I never knew anything, all these great musicians coming, teaching, and it was something I was taking for granted that happens. And the other part is, people were wondering, what is this family doing? Can they really live with music? Do they get enough to eat? Because in South India, there is a profession. There are 2 professions they have. The South Indian musicians they make 2 professions. They get a PhD, a doctor, engineer, or something they get. And then they do music full time. But they always have to put doctor so-and-so, and I'm an engineer. That's in North India, not. We don't. We just, musician. So it was also saying, how this music, and I remember one of my masters said, you have to be courageous to be a musician, because it is about Atma Gyan. It has to do with spirituality. It is not to do with material or business, because everybody was into business in that building, where I was staying. So this was also something that they were getting educated. And I was brought up in that kind of environment where I would listen to this, because music is something very, very close to God. If you believe in him, it's okay. And this was the education of Atma Gyan through music. And day and night, I heard this. And when tabla player didn't make it, my grandmother, my father could say, tell in Hindi, isko bithao, make him play, because he's playing all the time on the table and everywhere. So I was 3-4 years old, and I was playing since then with my grandmother, mother, everybody. So that's how I grew up with loving music.
Can I just ask you one point? I have heard that at the age of 6, infancy age, you started practically playing. Is it true? How was it?
I thought I could play. They write like that. Of course, my parents might have been very proud to say, hey, he's playing it. I played at a very early age. I went in All India Radio and I played a concert, where it's called for children. And I used to go there. They used to invite me. I used to get 5 rupees. And 50 paisa was to go with the train going there. And my brother used to accompany me. And I used to go and play. It was, the thing was called Jantar Mantar, the name of the program. So I used, I used to go and play, and they used to love me because, so I had to take my brother because I used to stammer. So my father told me, you're wasting time speaking your name. Because I took a lot of time speaking my word, 3. My father got to get mad. You just play, take your brother. When they ask you some questions, let your brother speak for you. So my brother spoke for me. So I used to take my brother and I used to give him 1 rupee. I said, that's for you. And 300 rupees 50 I kept, and every time I went and played there, without really not, just playing, just enjoying, and for the kids show. Then I started really learning,
So even at that point of time, you did do business with your brother
No, I
without
don't,
knowing.
it was not, you get like a patata vada and you go out and, like that, it's not business. We didn't know anything. I was not thought, I didn't know music is to do with business. I was
No,
very far,
absolutely.
I'm still far away from that. That's why I don't do much networking. I don't socialize to show myself. I think music speaks for himself. If
True.
you're good or bad, it will speak, it will do the job. But if you're not good, you have to do a lot of networking. But, that's how I got, but there are other stories also after that where I played with, there was a singer called Mahendra Kapoor. Maybe some people know. Mahendra Kapoor, who sang Meri Desh Ki Dharti, all that.
So Trilok ji, actually, how was it? Did you form, let's say, even in your childhood stage, you had your own group of students, you formed your own group, like, fun kind of a group, something like that? Or how did you come to that, this percussion or tabla and things like that? Because you could have chosen any other instrument. Why was it so fascinating that you chose this one?
I told you that at home, sometimes the tabla player accompanies would not come in time. And I was always very fugitive. I was always playing on the big pipe. And every time I was like a kid, obsessed with music, with drums. I loved it. I still love it. If I get up, if I see a drum, I first play it. I enjoy it. I like it very much. It's like more than meditation for me. So I started playing and they thought, he can play good. So make him study. It started with fun, Then I got grilled. It started with fun. It started very nice. He plays. But when I got the teacher coming in, he was sitting with a stick, play at 11 o'clock in the night. His name was Abdul Karim Khasab. And he used to, if you know who Shankar Jaikishan is, he's a great music composer. In the older music, people will know about him. And he used to play in the recording and he used to come home. Actually, he came to teach my brother. My brother was not there, and I was accompanying my mother. And I used to love mangoes, and I was eating just naked with mango, and I was playing there, and he was sitting at the back. I didn't know who it was. And then he asked my mother, "Ye kaun hai? Who is this?" He said, "He's my youngest son." "Oh, it's not Ravi." He said, "No, this is my youngest son. You know what? I will teach him. Forget my elder brother." So he didn't teach my elder brother. I started learning from him. And he used to come at 11 o'clock in the night, sit there till I get it right, till 1 o'clock. I don't know what time. 6 o'clock, I had to get up to go to school. He would come up anytime. My father said, "You can come anytime, beat him." And I used to get spanked sometimes. And that I used to get. But after a while, I realized that he really got my hands. Even if I cursed him, he made it very strong what he did.
Hopefully not the neighbors were not complaining when you are
Neighbors
playing
were
at
very good.
night 11 o'clock.
No. In the Indian neighbors are different than here. Indians, they love music. They like also chaos and something is happening. Wow, what is happening? Oh, Trilok got beaten up. Great. In the morning, what? You got beaten up. So it was all fun. It was not bad. See, we have that tolerance there in India for music. There's another love for music, acceptance. It has something to do with, I don't know, spiritual. I don't know what it is, but it has always been there. Only sometimes my neighbor would come and say, ask this brat to stop playing. It's non-stop. So, and I would stop. Even here where I live, my neighbors are incredible. They said, "Oh, You know, you haven't played today. Are you sick? I said, no, no, no. Then I play. Then they are all very happy. So, you know, music keeps everybody's on the toes, you know. And so,
Trilok ji, actually, you brought a very interesting topic. Actually, spirituality and music. So, how do you see that? Actually, maybe you can let's say classify in such a way at earlier stages of your life. How did you see that, and now how do you see that? What's the journey? How do you, where do you separate spirituality and music, or spirituality is music, or music plays through? It would be nice to hear from you as a person. How have you gone through, and now what is your enlightening? How you look at it?
I would say when I was listening to all the teachers, they all spoke like that. We also had Muslim teachers, you know, Gaman Kha Sahab, and there was no problem of any religion or anything. Music has no religion. The first thing, it was very written in bold letters in my house. Music, my teacher was Muslim, but he came for Ganpati, he came for that. Nobody bothered about it. I used to go to the church. I used to, you know, only the problem was the Parsis didn't allow us to go to Aghyari. That was the big problem. They went everywhere, the Parsis, but we were not allowed to go in there. But that's another story. So when I heard them speaking and talking that to my mother, you know, the sur, the sa is soham. You are that. I am that. You are that. This is from Upanishad. Soham. Like also from, you know, if you're coming from south, it is soham. You know what is soham. So sa is that. And the teacher would say, if you get that one note right, hitting, God is with you. He's with you. He's singing for you. And if you are thinking about it, he's gone. And this was the things they were talking. So when you use words, it would be of Krishna or anything, but it has to have a proper accent and proper way of feeling it. You know, so that's what I heard all the time. And they would say, music is very close to God. We have to know that. You have to, you know, that's the only thing we played music for. And now I slowly see that, you know, why people do listen to music. We forget everything up when you listen to music. When you go to a concert, you forget everything. You forget your name, you forget everything, you enjoy. But when you come out, you are the same again. You are somebody. But when you're listening, you're all, you know, and that's the beauty of Indian class Shastriya Sangeet is that. And after meeting my Sadguru Ranjit Maharaj, he told me the same thing. If you can do that, if he'll take you there, do it. Do it. And that was the green card for me. That, you know, for me, I feel it like that. There are thousands who might say, oh, he's talking crap. I accept that too. It's okay for me. But for me, it is like this. You know, even if you don't believe in God or even this, or I don't give a damn about that. But for us, doing the Shastriya Sangeet, it's about that. It's coming from Upanishads, from very old Shastra. And it is meant to reach that goal. That's why Indian Shastriya Sangeet or classical music is not so popular all over the world, you see.
Yes, actually, that part we will come on it, but let's still remain with music per se. You have traveled all over the world, but before that, Europe. After, let's say, you had your education in India and you have followed your music and everything, what was that you pushed you to Europe? And was it something that you always loved to? You already knew about European way of music, or it's how it is here? And why not at that point of time? Probably Europe was not so much like US. Maybe there are much more, let's say, people dreamed up US than Europe. What was that earlier decision like, and where is that motivation that you wanted to explore this part of the world?
See, it's a very big. I have to try to make it really short. When I went to college, I was. When I went to college, I never told I played tabla because it was looked down upon. We were called ghatis because we had to speak certain kind of English. because to play this Western kind of music, was very in, and your own music was looked down upon. Nobody knew this. So the monopoly was done by the Parsis and the Catholics. We never got in. We could not do it. He said, "Oh, he can't play. This is, he's playing all this Indian stuff." So that was a drawback. So we had to speak English to. I could not speak Marathi, anything, because, or Hindi. I had to speak that language to get into that area. And it was controlled by Catholics and Parsis very much, because they played that kind of music, also in the Bollywood, everywhere. So, and I was interested in playing all kinds of music. So when I was in college, I said, never say I play tabla. I'm son of Trilok Gurtu, just shut up. And, so when my brother used to play very good drums, very good percussion, and a good composer. He used to play for Lakshmian Parilal. He was a big composer for Bollywood. So he used to come with all this music, and I used to listen to it. He didn't want me to play drums either. So I used to do it very clandestine. And was looked down upon. Nobody knew this. So I'm hearing it myself again. So I don't know. Something is... Hi.
Go ahead.
I'm hearing myself back, Balram.
Yeah. Some I do not know what's that. But go ahead, please. Go ahead.
Did hello to me, so I say hello back.
Yeah.
So to make it short, when I was in college, a drummer fell sick, and the singer asked me, "Oh, I heard you can play drums. I try." So I played that song from Shami Kapoor, "Badan Pe Sitare," if you know what it is. And I passed the test, and then said, "You want to play with me?" And I said, "Oh, I'm getting a chance to play." So I started playing, and then people started speaking about me. "Oh, this guy is playing drums. He's a Marathi boy. He's not even Catholic or Parsi, but wow, he's, And then I started coming to. Then I joined a rock group. Then came to another big group. And then we decided that we are doing our own compositions. We cannot play in Mumbai, we're not getting enough concerts. We got thrown out of every discotheque from Delhi, Bangalore, Mumbai. We played our own music. So my friend, his father was a big advocate. And he said, "Don't worry, I will sponsor you." He was an incredible Parsi, and also very well to do. He said, "Don't worry, I will sponsor all of you." So, thanks to him, he sponsored us here. So we came to Europe, try our luck, because nobody understood our music in India. So that's how I came here.
See, that's a beautiful, I would say, a way that the destiny actually, when you are actually not allowed to those, let's say, places which were played by the other two groups, but one among them came to, let's say, support you, and that happened that you came to Europe.
And there with him, he used to listen to a lot of classical music, and I would teach him. Then I told him, "Listen, we should use tabla." This was in 69, 70, very long time back. And his name was Soli Dastur. And I used to speak also Parsi. I used to speak Gujarati with him. And the father, he said, "Hey, let's Trilok hear all this." So I used to hear Beethoven, Bach, because the Parsis only heard classical music from West. So I heard all that. I learned, I used to sit all day and night with him and compose and listen to all this. So I got knowledge about that music also, Western classical. And then we started combining it, and then I came, we came to Paris first. We were allowed only $100 that time, the government never allowed us more than $100, and somebody, stupid guy, he went and took a haircut for 20 something, and we all got mad with him. He was another Parsi also there in the band. I was the only one the Marathi speaking. There were 2 Anglo-Indians and 2 Parsis. You know,
So, I mean, it in itself is an experience at that part of the world. Actually, when I look back, I mean, I do not know how $100 or what value at that
oh no,
time $100 was.
it went very quickly. We had no idea. We ended up on the street. We didn't know what to do, you know, and we got mad with the guy who had a haircut in Paris, you know.
Probably. Trilokji, please tell us before we stop this small session, or let's say part of this, so that people can interact. Because, as I said before, we would like to have it as a very interactive dialogue because it should not be a monologue.
Yes.
Before I will go into that, do you still have your friends during the school days, college days who are in India or maybe in other parts of the world? Do you make your, let's say, you are still in touch? And what was it at that point of time and now?
See, you know, some of them thought, oh, Trilok is too famous, or he will, but they get surprised when I tell them their name, who is, and then they all, you know, I used to play a lot of table tennis. I was a sportsman. I was the champion, junior champion for Mumbai. I would have played the nationals, you know, and there was some kind of you know, problem with my age, which was not. So when I stopped playing table tennis, I was a professional table tennis player back in Mumbai. So when I came also to Germany, when they saw me playing table tennis in Remagen, they asked me, do you want to play for our club? I said, okay, give me shoes, give me a shorts, and give me a good racket. I'll play for you. And I won most of my matches actually there. And they said, you want to play professionally? I said, no, I'm going for my concerts. I'll come and play when I have time. So I keep in touch with my sports friend, and I used to play cricket. And some of them write, Trilok, you remember your bowling was so great and you batted so well and the fifth place and everything. So they all write to me. Some of them, no. You know, most of the friends are my students.
Yeah. So I think it happened like that. You know, it's like an interrelated thing. Your drumming or percussionist skills of your movement of your hands and fingers probably also made sure you played, you know, the badminton or cricket in such a way, or the other way around, you know.
I played table tennis, yeah, quite
right.
a bit.
So I mean, you need the fast. I mean, it has to be fast in table tennis, right? It's the same for you the other way around as well.
Yeah, very fast in table tennis. I used to love playing sports. I still watch cricket. I love that.
Okay. So Trilokji, thanks a lot. I think already there are some fascinating insights, but I would like to also give the floor to our audience, a respected audience who are here. There are students here who they are followers of you, and your friends are here as well. So it's always for this Wednesday Dialogue Series, it's very nice if you could hear about our legend and guest also from those who know Trilokji very well. Maybe you have some, let's say, special incidents or special things you would like to share, or maybe how he inspired you, for example, or still inspiring you, or many other special events that you would like to share with us, because that's something also special of the Wednesday Dialogue Series. Or if you have heard something about Trilokji and you would like to ask him how it was, or was it that way or the other way, please do feel free. So now the floor is yours. So we will take 10 minutes so that we can go through this session, and it's an interactive open session. Please, who would like to break the ice? No, we need an icebreaker always. So Manju drums, at least I see that. Surya Kumar Bose sir, I am coming back to you after this. Thank you. Manju
Hello,
drums,
Trilok
please.
sir.
Namaskar.
Trilok sir, namaste. Manju from Bangalore.
Yes.
Oh, sir. Very, very happy to see you and talk like this over Zoom, sir. Sir, two things I want to ask you. First thing, can you tell you why you got influenced with Carnatic classical music? As I come from the South, we have heard few stories, and even you have shared many times. Tell a little bit more about your connection with Raghu sir and all that influences of Carnatic music on your playing.
I think Raghu sir, nobody will really not know here. I will speak about Karnataka, which is a very rich culture, which we ignore. It was a big gap between North and South in music also. Pandit Ravi Shankar put it together, you know. He was very helpful in joining that. And I loved Carnatic music because of, you know, when I did that interview with Anand, Raghuji's grandson, that you can't avoid it if you're a musician or a drummer. And now all Americans are following mostly the Carnatic system. You know, I was telling the Americans to, you know, check this system. If you get this, all your problems of timing and all the microbeats will be solved, because these guys have done it for years and years, Tawil players, and which is a very old tradition. But the point is, everybody uses this system not correctly. You know, they think it's mathematics. It's not mathematics. It is a very systematic, you know, education. And I used it to compose music because I loved it. And I studied from T.S. Mani, Raghuji also helped me, also T.K. Murthy helped me. So because the Carnatic system is very close to Africa.
Okay.
Drums and Africa, you know, it's very close. People sometimes don't want to know all this because they think, oh, what Africa? Africa is very rich. We think it's poor. It's very rich also in minerals. It's very rich. It has always been rich, like India. It's always been rich in everything. We've been told not to say that. We're taught to say we are poor, we don't know anything. We have to study from the West.
Yeah.
No, I tell all my, no, it's if you want to study drums, go to Chennai or study Tawil.
So the second question, Mr. Manju, what you would like to ask?
No, I just wanted to share, like, thank
Okay.
you, sir. You have been inspiring all of us from so long. And
Thank
your
you.
Remembrance album changed my life. I took music seriously because of that album, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you
sir.
very
Thank
much,
you.
Manju. I think this is exactly what we are looking for. And now, Trilokji's good friend, and you know, somebody, as Trilokji just joked before, he was seeing where Surya Kumar Bose sir is missing. Where is he? He is not there. So, so we are just waiting for it, or he's also. So now you are here, sir. Please go ahead.
Yeah.
Very sweet.
Here. Hi, Trilok.
Hi.
Hi. Nice to see you.
नमस्ते, कसे आहात तुम्ही? अरे वाईन पिता? वा, काय हा छान आहे.
आज आमचा छोटासा सेलिब्रेशन करतोय आम्ही.
अरे वा वा वा.
Because आमचा लहान मुलगा फाकात झाला today.
Wow, wow, wow. So what are you drinking? Nice German Riesling?
Yes,
some good wine for
Wine.
you also.
Right.
German Riesling, great.
Yeah. Bogoda. Okay, nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
Okay, Trilok, all the best. Good to see you here. And
Yes.
we really hope we can do a concert during the India week, maybe.
Of course.
I still got it in my mind. And I don't know if there are others in Hamburg. We've organized quite a few concerts of Trilok here in Hamburg. And they were all grand successes because he sort of, you know, integrates people from different parts of musical background. And he wins over the people. I mean, in Vienna, I went to the concert house. It was a packed house with Jan Gabarek and Trilok. And then Trilok all literally took over.
Yeah.
And everybody was in a trance. So
And,
this is something which I think, Trilok, all the best. I won't take up most of the space because I think amongst all these people, we know each other the longest.
Yes. Very nice to see Mukul.
Right.
एकदम बरं वाटलं तुला बघून.
Right, Trilok. Haven't met you for a while now.
Yes.
But,
Nice to seeing you.
and I remember our daughter-in-law going, Elizabeth.
Yes, she came to the concert in Philharmonie in Berlin. Yeah.
Right, because our son wasn't there. How time flies, yeah? Okay, take care.
Take care.
All the best.
Take care, Surya.
Okay, bye.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. So, any others who would like to speak, or generally, you know, like Mr. Manju was telling about, maybe you would like to share something, or, you know, would you like to? Yes, Mrs. Maya Joshi, please go ahead. No, we are not hearing, sir. You have to change the microphone. You have to open the microphone, please. Yes.
Hi, Trilok. It's
Hi.
Anand here.
Hi,
Anand
hi.
from Dharwad.
Are He's my cousin brother.
Hi.
He's my cousin
Hi,
brother. He's from Dharwad. I have a big story for Dharwad, Karnataka.
So nice to see you.
Yenri.
Henry, you remember?
Dharwad.
Yeah, and I remember you playing during our marriage. What is the song?
Honto pe
Oh God.
On a tumbler when you were a kid. I keep telling my grandchildren about it. On a dholak. Yeah, and when Shobha Mami sang for that evening.
Vallaure Nakpa.
Vallaure Nakpa. Oh, very good.
But, yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay,
Thanks a lot,
bye.
sir. Thank you very much.
Anand.
Talking to you.
Nice seeing you, Anand.
Yeah, bye.
All the best. Thanks.
I'll keep in touch. Come to Dharwad.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Now we have Shravan Samsi, please.
Shravan.
Pranam Trilok ji.
How are you? Good.
So great to see you. Last time was I think 3 or 4 years back. So feels really good to see you. And so I'll get straight to the question. So Surya sir mentioned that he had you play with Jan Garbarek and all these really great musicians. And I'd say that Trilok sir, I think out of everyone from India, is the only artist who's played with almost every single jazz legend from the fusion era, So I think we're all so lucky to hear our sort of heritage being applied in so many different forms of jazz, So I would just like to ask you how that came about and, how you discovered sort of the whole fusion scene and Joe Zawinul and Jan Garbarek and John G and, the whole sort of spectrum of the fusion era back then.
By the way, Samsi, his father is one of the incredible tabla players in India.
Yes,
right. Amazing tabla player. The question is how I started it. I had answered. It started by using the Carnatic system which helped me. That helped me do what I wanted to do, to be different. And I backed out of Berkeley. I was refused admission in Berkeley College, and that changed the game for me. It sounded like an insult, but it was a blessing in disguise for me. And then I thought that I had to do something different, something new of myself, and not only imitate the West, how people do it. And I started loving my own tradition and my country. To find out, I didn't know when I was there, but when I left, I knew my country is great, what it has given me. I just have to translate it in a very good way so everybody understands. And I'm trying to do it. So that's how I tried doing it, Shravan.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Shravan. Thank you very much as well. And we will take one question and we will move on. Vaibhav is there. Vaibhav, please.
So Pranam sir.
Kasa hai?
So Majid. So first of all, thank you for creating timeless music, and through listening to your music through this pandemic, it's become म्हणजे त्याच्यामुळे आम्ही हे पार करू शकतो. So I wanted to ask, sir, I have traveled Eastern Europe. I could see, your murals on the wall. You go to Africa, there are hotel suites named after you. As per you mentioned, Downbeat Award, sir. I won't say, do you feel sad? Just a white water when people from India or Germany. No offense to anyone, म्हणजे fail, how to put it. So म्हणजे recognition or appreciation, do you think, yeah, so you should get more, or, back home? Like you showed us how the way to, how rich our culture is. So
yeah, Germany is still not recognized that, which is sad. And, I respect it for what, because I never got an award in Germany. I got everywhere in the world, everywhere. Germany, as I said to Balramji, I never got it. I never got recognition. They probably thought I should remain the same and not grow up in music because what they saw, because I grew up here. So I think they don't want me. They don't want me to them to see me grow up or do something. I don't know. I mean, it's very strange that I live here in Hamburg near. I never played the Elf Philharmonic, which all my juniors and everybody else is playing. If you go to Berlin, and I play I played Albert Hall with, Royal Festival Hall. I get a prize in Spain for the change of music. And whatever I do here, somehow it goes on top, or is not taken seriously, or, it's saying, oh, he doesn't need it, or, oh, he's living. What was very good when they didn't know I was living in Germany in a small village. That was very good. They appreciated very much. Now they find out I'm living in a small village. Oh, I'm a simple, not doing this networking. So I've not, but still I'm here, and I respect their decision. I enjoy being here. I have fantastic neighbors here, and I think I don't miss the award. But I would like to play in places so I can bring our traditional Indian music in a big quality. The musicians sometimes coming from India, they're not of great quality. I'm sorry to say that. And then everything, the quality drops. And then, of course, I come and say, then I'm an outspoken guy, so they would say, oh, Trilok is spricht so and so. And so that's, I think, it's a matter of luck, or I don't know. I've tried it for 40 years. But I always speak great about Germany when I am there. And when I get a criticism, when they criticize Germany, I say, no, Germany is a great country. I don't say, oh, because they ask me why I live here. They ask me to stay in Italy, in France, in America. I said, no, it's good. I don't have problems here. And they're nice to me. Only thing, I don't play here very often, and I don't get awards. So it's okay.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, sir. And thank you, Viber, for that. Actually, it's getting very interesting because some of the things I really wanted to ask you also are being asked. So I will take up this question as well from or comment from Vinesh. Vinesh, please go ahead.
Hi, sir. Jai Hind. This is Vinesh Nair from Nasik. First of all, thank you so much for inspiring us. और आपसे बहुत कुछ सीखने मिला है. बचपन से आपको देख के हम लोग बड़े हुए हैं. आपको देख के बहुत कुछ सीखने मिला है. और इसमें सर मेरा एक बहुत बड़ा लक है कि जो वैभव भाई हैं, मैं उनके साथ जयपुर में प्ले करने गया था, तो उन्होंने बहुत सारी चीजें शेयर की जो नॉलेज मुझे बहुत काम आया. जो भी कुछ वो आपके बारे में बहुत कुछ बताया उन्होंने. तो सर हम लोग आपका जो भी एल्बम्स है, शक्ति है, हर एक सॉन्ग्स हम लोग सुनते हैं और बहुत अच्छा लगता है सुन के. तो सर सबसे पहले मैं ये पूछना चाहता था कि आप जब भी स्टेज पे जाते हो, आपको जब भी हम लोग कोई वीडियो देखते हैं, आपका लाइव देखते हैं, तो वो वाइब्स बहुत अलग क्रिएट होते हैं सर. एज अ म्यूजिशियन, एज अ रिदमिस्ट, एक वाइब बहुत अलग क्रिएट होता है. और तो मैं ये जानना चाहूंगा सर आपसे कि सबसे मेन चीज एक रिदम प्लेयर के लिए क्या होता है कि जब भी कोई हम लोग कोई रिदम प्ले करते हैं या कभी भी कोई क्रिएटिव लेवल पे हम लोग जो मैनर्स बनाते हैं, एक कल्चर बनता है, जैसे आपने बताया कर्नाटिक का और हिंदुस्तानी का, तो सबसे मेन एक रिदमिस्ट के लिए क्या पार्ट होता है?
I think when I'll speak in English so everybody understands. Not everybody speaking Hindi in Germany and in here. So
okay. Okay,
so
sir,
the thing is, when you are playing, I would suggest you have to forget that you are playing. You are a percussionist. You have to forget everything and just play. That's your job. That's your part you're playing. Because percussion is something not considered in India. It just started now. We used to call side rhythm. ऐसे बोलते थे ना. this. So this is something which is coming from Africa and Brazil. But I think when you go on stage, just forget that you are, a percussion player. Just stay in there. My cousin brother told me once, Anand, what was about that conviction you said? I remember in Bangalore, you told me, Trilok, you have this conviction when I spoke about my Sadguru. Anand. I don't know, Anand is not listening, but he had a good quote about that. So it is also conviction. Dar nahi hona chahiye. You shouldn't have fear when you're playing music. Also, when I'm sure when you go to a temple, you go with fear and doubt. That's why you go to the temple, no? Exactly. You think everybody goes to the temple if he has no fear and doubt? People go to the temple to ask something. Mere ko kuch deo, give me something. Otherwise, in India, they change the temple. Oh, Ganpati is not going, I'll go to Ram. Ram is not going, I'll go to Parshuram. This is going on. So you have to forget that, and you have to play something. Somebody is playing in you, and let it go. It will come by doing it. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Vinesh. I'm sorry if I pronounce wrong. Kwab Haria. Maybe if I'm right.
Namaste, Trilok ji. Kwab from Mumbai.
Namaste. Kem cho?
Majama, sir. So your music has, ever since I started listening, it's changed the way I look at music in general. Sir, I wanted to ask you, did you have certain exercises to practice independence of both the hands in all the four limbs, or how did it all start, and what would you practice?
No, I didn't. It was all tabla. You see, when you're playing tabla, there's the 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It's already there. So you have to break it down. So now I broke it down because I didn't want to play like a Western drummer or an American drummer. I respect American drummers. I really respect them, and they think incredible. They can, but I can't do what they do, and maybe they can't do what I do. So now when they heard my music, and then when they said, this is not jazz, but this is something special, is different. And I thought it was a great compliment. And I said, yeah, this is coming from India. And I play like this, and this I stand for my Indian tradition, and it sounds like that on my drums, which I made. So I won't say I took the risk. I said I just wanted to play like that. I didn't care what the people opinion here, what they will say, I didn't care about that. You can't play music if you wait for opinions, what people like and don't like. Thousands will tell you bad. And the ones who tell you bad, they're your best friends. But so I just did it. I didn't care. And the one thing when I left America, I said, I don't want to be a second-class citizen in any other country. So I left America and I came with this sound. That's all. I have nothing special. And when I spoke to a great jazz drummer, Jack DeJohnette, he told me, Trilok, you have 4 hands. The 2 limbs of, 4 hands. So I said, okay, just move. I tried it and it worked. This is all my Sadguru's grace, so it works.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Kwab. And sir, let's move on. I have a few things I would like to ask you. It's very, very interesting. First of all, food. And, food is something, it's music is people know. But food is something you are as much as, let's say, you love, not about the food you consume, but it's also about the way you treat the food, your own, let's say, kind of, creations and, the combinations, and you spend a lot of time on that as well. So how is that? What is that something, that love for food and food creations? How did it come together?
So all musicians are foodies, all musicians are, my home was big foodie. So my mother used to say, music, food and pagdi, the pagdi, what you put, will never be the same. The pagdi will be a little bit crooked, will never sit the same. And And we spoke only about, and after the music sessions, we had incredible food at home. Amazing, amazing food. Fantastic. And I was brought up with this food because, my cousin brother who came from Dharwad, and my grandfather was an incredible cook, and he was the Inspector General of Police for the British. He was a big shot, and great musicians used to come there. And he used to come and tell me, Trilok, our 4 o'clock play, you'll get a mango. And then you will get a great omelette in the morning. And it was really incredible. He used to lull me like that. If you do that, I will make you good kebab. I'll do this, I'll do that. So I started, and I have his books here. So we were brought up with food from my grandfather, because he was a Kashmiri. My mother is from Belgaum, Goa. So I had fish, all this. My grandmother, Belgaum, mother Goa. My brother's wife, Gujarati. The other brother's wife, Sindhi. So there's all, and then we had the Muslim teachers, is all a big jumble. And so I started learning about food in being at home. And when I came here to Germany, I was a vegetarian. I had a very tough time. In 73, I fainted also because I could not get proper vegetarian food. Garlic was taboo. Ginger, nobody could find, nothing. Oh, nee, das nicht, Zwiebel stinkt, nein, whoop-ah. And then suddenly I found one tube of harissa, this Moroccan thing. Somebody gave me, and that was the biggest thing I found in 1973. So I stopped being vegetarian, and I started, when I lived in Italy, I started really enjoying and learning about food and wine. That's how I started. So I also went with some, with my friends from the Feinschmecker. I went with them. Then now they call me to Friuli to taste wine and food. They call me in Piemonte, Langhe. I go there I did some food and wine and concerts in Deidesheim for Riesling, Mosel. And that's what I do. I enjoy doing that, to put, food and wine and put music around it, I enjoy
Great.
it.
Wonderful. Then that leads to my next, question, or let's say a curiosity about your German experience, because you have spent, let's say, lot of years, many decades in Germany, let's say, right? And there must have been a lot of things that has started with, and and later now, probably there could have been incidents which is really that was so pleasant, not, or other experiences. And if you want to define your German experience and that influence in your life, and also in your music and your thought processes, because there are, as much as India can boast of great thinkers, and German also had great thinkers and intellectuals also in this country and also there. So can you just go through your so-called German experience? How do you see that? Yeah, and that's something, it's very, very, very curious to know that.
I knew very little about Germany when I left the country. I found out later on, because I didn't speak German that time when I left. I studied it here in Germany through my wife and my daughter. But the education, it was it's a matter of destiny that I'm here, and I enjoy being here. That's not with the good and bad experiences. But there were a lot of people helping me, like the Bürgermeister from Remagen. He said, Trilok, we brauchen eine Künstler wie du, bleib mal hier. The WDR, the WDR, this lady, this man, Adolfi, in 78, he saw that Trilok, unique, can you stay here? So that was also the good side, but there were also other bad sides. When I went to Munich, I was playing. One lady called me, oh, you're playing Buschneger music. And I didn't understand what is a Buschneger. And I laughed. And I said, I'm calling this guy Buschneger, and he's laughing. I didn't know what it meant. I came to know later on what it meant, Buschneger. And it was actually insult. And she, so that was also the explanation when I played drums. Oh, it's too noisy. The Indian music is noisy. That's it. So, and they had some wrong notion about India, some wrong notion, which from where they got it, I don't know. And I was not worried at that time trying to teach them, because anything, when I played drums, it said Schlagzeug, like, oh, it's loud, it's good. So it was somehow, the drumming was not a big forte for Germans, the rhythm part of it. The melodic and all was okay. And the food also, no ginger, no garlic, no chili, so anything happened, sharp, everybody's screaming sharp, even when it was not. And because they knew very little about food, India is big, man. We have amazing culinary. If you change just in Bombay, 10 kilometers, you have amazing food. It's the same food differently, So, and then, they were, I would say, they were pretty honest with me. And also, okay, I had some tough time also there, getting kicked off from there and that, but they've been fair to me. It was not a big experience because I always left the country. I was in Sweden with Don Cherry and I came back to Germany. That's why it took long for me to speak German. But I was playing with German bands also, But there was some kind of a division, It was not like when I went to Italy and France. It was it was mixing well. It took time for me here, in Germany. Sad, but I'm speaking the truth. I can't hear you.
Let me ask you in that part. You travel to many places, even many European countries. Many countries invited you to stay in their country, but still you chose Germany again and again and again. What was that bound you to be in Germany in spite of your all invitations? What is that small thing that, really, like in your food, you need to have certain balance of your, salt or, few other spices. Otherwise, the food is not that what you would like to have it. So what is that really binds you even today?
My family. My wife had a very good job in NDR, and it was something very secure, and she didn't want to leave the job. And I didn't think it was right just for me of this, so I could bear with the brunch. It's okay. I would stay here because I'm traveling so much. It doesn't make a difference where I live then. So I decided to live here. But, you feel this everywhere, and I've not felt really not many bad things. The only thing, people, when I went outside, they were talking how I can live in Germany. Oh, it's just not good. I said, you ever been there? Oh, German white wines. No, the Italians go crazy when I tell them the Riesling from Mosel is amazing. No, not born. I said, you tried it? No, and you say because it's from Germany is bad. Now we have very good food in Germany. Excellent. They've broken the ice. It's good. Started cooking. So, but I never spoke negative about Germany. I would say in the music part, where I come from this kind of music, also in what they play, jazz and all, is not up to the mark. Sorry, it's not up to the mark. Classical music, yes, that's their forte. But other countries are much better in jazz, rock, pop, But then I would say no. And I didn't play with many German musicians afterwards. I was playing more my stuff, and I was playing with always. So I never missed that. So I came home to my family, and that's how I'm here. And I tell you, where I live, my neighbors are amazing. And my neighbor here is an incredible cook also, Christian, very good. So I have a great neighborhood, and we all take care of ourselves. What I don't know if I go to Italy or France and I get all this fame and maybe I get a bad neighbor. That's worst. That's poison. So I prefer here and I go there. I don't know. I can bear with it.
Great. Thanks a lot for that. And you spoke about language. I think that's something I would like to touch upon, because even for music, I mean, let's say music, irrespective of what language it is. For example, it's, Hindustani or Carnatic, or you say even for percussion, whatever it might be, even music in itself is a language per se. How do you see the whole diversity of language? And is there anything that, one language, how you good in a language, maybe the person is good in music, or there is a correlation between it, or multiple language is something, is for every musician, is something a gift of it on its own, whether that influences a lot on the way you think, the way you conceptualize your music? Can you please speak on that part?
I think language is where we get connected. And I never saw a point, the worst when I was traveling, like when I was playing with American bands, they never spoke German or never bothered to speak German. Italians also did no. The French never spoke English or German, forget it. Now they're speaking German, now they like it somehow, they're doing it. But nobody spoke. There's some other Benelux countries, they spoke a little bit more of the language. Germans spoke more French, probably. This Franco, Alman was okay. Never spoke English, The English never, they like to speak a little bit French. They're obsessed with the French wine and food, but nobody spoke German. So all these things, I think they are not binding us, they are separating us. And if you see in India, the language is okay, it's very different, but a lot of people speak different kind of languages. We are blessed. My father spoke 14 languages, from Telugu, Tamil, to Sindhi, to Urdu, to Marathi, to Hindi, and all different, all different. So I was brought up in Bombay. I spoke Gujarati. I still speak Gujarati, Konkani, Marathi. I speak my mother tongue, Hindi, and Urdu. And I speak German, Italian, and French here. I speak because I think if I need to communicate to people, and you have to make them feel good, is to speak their language. Even if I say, kaise ho, come stai, tutto bene? If they're happy. Oh, you're speaking with the Italian accent. Wow, great. You make them happy. And music is the greatest language of all.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Trilok ji. One point I wanted to really touch upon is, the percussion, or that is something, it's not only about the drums, that's the one of many, actually, when you look at, you said about tabla, in the South you call gatam, it's also, there are so many. And as you say, in Africa, there could be different instruments, or even in the South, you have the melam, also it's there, specific thing. So there are many things. So how is, are you yourself specialized in many of these instruments, or, you have in your word, for example, the African one, or within the Indian one, many things. Can you say about that, whether you yourself has time to time has special you are fond of certain of these percussion instruments of it? You have something called that's your special, let's say not specialty, but I would say more like, something you love more and all the time to really experiment on something.
So when I was brought up, I tell you, music was not looked up, but looked down upon. We think, what's your profession? That was the first thing to our family, Gurtu family, especially Shobha Gurtu family. And we were all musicians in the family. My brother, my mother, my grandmother, also my grandfather, also a fantastic sitar player, but he was the IGP in Dharwad, so it's great. And I
Dharwad.
कौन है?
Dharwad.
श्याम बाबू.
श्याम बाबू, मैं बात कर रहा हूँ. नरेंद्र.
मैं बात करूंगा. Let me answer this question. My other cousin brother is here. Sorry, Balaraman.
मैं श्याम बाबू, धारवाड़, कर्नाटक स्टेट.
Dharwad. I will just answer the question and come back to you, Shyam Babu.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, Balaram, what I was saying?
You are telling about the different instruments which I was you are talking about. I was just asking you.
Yeah, okay. I've seen my cousin after 50 years, man. 50, 60.
Yes,
50
yes.
years.
Look at
He's also gone bald. He's gone bald.
Yes.
He's gone bald, no hair.
No hair.
क्या
हो
रे?
गया ये I'm 65 now.
Henry, Swami. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she's my wife. She's my wife, Sangeeta.
Namaskar. I will answer the question and come back to Isham Babu. Yeah?
Okay.
Okay.
Please go ahead. Go ahead.
So I was playing on the peep, water drums, pop, where you feel water. Everywhere I used to play. On the table, this, I just developed this because I had no instruments. Actually, had no money to pay instruments, to have instruments. So I played on anything, on this pan. I told you about Mahendra Kapoor. I played with R.D. Burman. He said, they used to call me Tillu. Call Tillu ko bulao. And then I used to go and play something, Tillu, what do you think? I said, yeah, take that rod, take that puck, and then we play, So I just, the imagination was doing it. And because it's not our culture, it's not an Indian culture, it's more African and Brazilian percussion. It's not Indian at all. It's more African and it came from my elder brother, Ravi.
Thank you, sir. I think we need to give that opportunity of 50 years you are meeting. I'm pretty sure Sham Babu would like to say something or you would like to converse. Please do that. We are actually very happy through this dialogue series. You would like to see them. That's something. It's a very emotional moment for you.
Yeah, I met Sham Babu and my other cousin brother Anand from Dharwad. They're all from Dharwad, Karnataka. Swami. Keri.
कैसे हो जी? How are you?
Good. I still have hair.
I have gone bald.
You used wrong oil. Since childhood, you're using wrong oil. Sham Babu.
Coconut oil.
That's why you should have used mustard oil like Bengalis.
Anyway,
ask your question, Sham Babu. People.
I play guitar. I teach guitar.
Very good. But in Dharwad, you never played when we were with grandfather.
No, I was still young. After college days, I started learning and I started घर पे class ले रहा हूँ मैं.
अरे अच्छा, very good.
मैं Spanish guitar सिखाता हूँ.
We used to have big mehfil in our grandfather's house.
Yes.
Nath Sahib. His name is Nath Sahib, and we had all the musicians coming there in that house. And this fellow was very small, much younger than me.
Yes.
I think we used to tease him a lot. Both. He never played guitar. Now he started playing guitar. Very good.
I completed my MA in criminology and forensic science. I was in Karnataka College as a lecturer for 25 years, but मेरा permanent नहीं हुआ. I am specialized in fingerprints and documents.
Come to Germany. We need you here. No. Good.
Thank you, Sham Babu ji, and thank you, Trilok ji, for that. I mean, it's a wonderful thing, sir. So let's move on. I mean, can you pick? I mean, thousands of concerts you have done all over the world. If you want to pick up, let's say 3 of it, I'm sure it's very difficult. 3 the concerts which you say your best, which in terms of atmosphere, in terms of your absolute satisfaction, which is something. Could you pick up, let's say, till now? I'm sure you have a much more long life in terms of more concerts to come, but till now, the 3 which you would like to pick up.
Okay. One was with my mother, Trilok Gurtu. It was in Piacenza, in Italy. It is a little below Milano, Piacenza. And she was the first time she was in my group, and we were, and she agreed to, she is a great Padma Bhushan, my mother, and she has said, I would like to sing with you. And this CD, what we have done, me and my mother, was called Usfret. And it got very popular with the British underground. And that's where all the drum and bass and everything started, in England. All this new kind of music started there after this CD in 84, 85. And I was touring with my mother in Piacenza, and we were playing. and people were clapping, oh, they were all excited. But when I invited my mother, I never said she's my mother. So I invited her as Shobha Gurtu. I invited her as an artist. And when she came and she was just looking at the audience like this, I saw something, everybody stood up. Everybody, she got a standing ovation, not even for singing, just for being who she was. And I said, wow. And we are playing here, hey, just little tali and it's finished. But she comes, she takes the whole cake and the cream is gone. So that night, I asked her, Mummy, how did you do that? He said, listen, you have to know your audience, how to look at them also. You guys are, one is closing his eyes, one is making faces when you're playing. When you come like a king, be a king on the stage, she told me. And that's what I learned from her that time. He said, you have to put, only at that time, you have to have duality. Otherwise, no. And at the first time I saw us getting a standing ovation, all the thousands of people standing up. And, and the second concert was with John McLaughlin in Royal Festival Hall. And this was amazing. It's a big, I think in the music area or the musicians, if you ask musicians, they will think that this CD was one of the top, changed a lot of people's life and musicians too. When Mr. McLaughlin played, just amazing. It was a fantastic group. And this was the first time, again, at least an Indian and a Scottish guy did it. Brought India, because John McLaughlin was one who really helped Indian music to be understood to the West. There are very few, and John McLaughlin is one of them. He really got Indian music right up there. And the third concert is with my great musician singer. He passed away just yesterday, Rajan Mishra. He passed away. He's one of Rajan Sajan Mishra. They are an incredible singer from Banaras and living in Delhi. And very sad for me. And we were speaking, whenever we played, we spoke about spirituality in music, exactly what is, in one of his lectures, he's speaking about all this, and jokes and food, but never serious. But in that jokes, there were a lot of seriousness there. So when I played there in London, also in the Royal Festival Hall, and I was with an electronic trio with African singer from Congo, keyboards and all electronics. So he was invited to come, and he said, oh no, Trilok, what is he going to do? Shobha Gurtu's son, oh man, I have a headache. I don't know what I don't want to go there. And it's all electronic, it's going to be loud. And then he came to the concert because he was forced. But then he came running to me after the concert. He hugged me, said, just like your mother, you killed everybody. My headache is gone. It's some new thing I've heard in my life. I made the African singer sing all Indian style music. It was never done before. Sabine Kambango in London. And he says, it's amazing. In the pronunciation, I said, I took care of telling her to sing. The song was Julelal, and all the people were dancing, coming down and dancing. He said, I could not stop dancing. And so it was a big compliment from me coming from Rajan Mishra ji,
Thank you. Thanks a lot, sir. I think it's great. And we have lost few minutes. I'd like to put that one to you as the last point. What is your wish now? Where do you want to see? Because you always had this, let's say, a little difficulty to, really see that Indian music has not, let's say, had gone to the stages and gone to, heights as one wished to, like people like you who love and live. how do you see that? What need to be done, or what is your dream? How you want to really, see that happens?
I think we all the Indians here are responsible, and I say it in India, they are not. They are running. Their minds are all like there's 9 horses. They are running everywhere. And before it was very focused with the old musician, the old discipline. From Karnataka and North, they were great musicians. Everybody had a style, and it was a community. Now everybody wants to play like. They want to ape the West. One wants to play like this without knowing. Some people want to play African music without knowing African music. Without knowing, you can't do this. You're doing a disgrace to your own music and to the other guy's music also. You have to know what you're doing. And this is, I feel bad that our country is overlooking, and also the government is not doing anything about developing. See, if you see America, you see England, you see Norway, Sweden, they are all exporters of great music, of music. What we hear on the radio in India, wherever you go, is you hear all English spoken and pop and rock music. You never hear Indian or African. You never say. Also in India, I'm saying, you never hear it, and nobody bothers to say, why is it like this? Is it so high level? So, like Sant Gyaneshwar did it. The Bhagavad Gita and all the scriptures was so high flown, he brought it down to very simplicity. Now it's simple. Now do it. And I'm waiting for that somebody comes, and at least here in Germany, the Groschen must fall. That they understand Indian music is not a piece of cake, but it's a cake with a cream topping. It's incredible. With this music, you can analyze any kind of music, and it can make you happy. It's for their happiness. It's not only meditation. And this is a wrong notion being conveyed here, and by some, our own people, our own musicians are not doing it well, our own people. So I just pray to them. I tell them, please do justice, good or bad, there are all different kinds of music all over the great. I'm speaking for my country, for India, that we have a great tradition to keep it up. Let everybody listen to this great tradition. Don't mess it up. Please.
Thank you. Thank you a lot, sir. I think, from family of Surya Kumar Bose, I think they would like to speak. Please go ahead.
Trilok, you've forgotten to mention the reason why you're here in Germany. People don't know your charming, lovely wife, right?
I just said I'm here.
You did.
I said I'm here because of my wife and my family.
And your lovely daughter. Right?
Yes, and she's doing very well in the marketing thing. So I'm not being egoistic and saying I want to go to the sunny side, and I bear everything here.
Another thing is you invited Surya to the Elbphilharmonie with where you played with Jan Garbarek.
Yes.
But you didn't invite me. You forgot to
ask him. Me. No, ask him. There was only maybe one ticket, but ask him. Where is he hiding? Why is he hiding? Ask him.
I forgive you for that, Trilok.
I will invite you. Ask him, why is he hiding?
You have to make up for that sometime, right?
Of course.
Okay. Trilok, our CG is there, John. We have to organize a concert with Trilok again. I have done it a few times, but this time we need your help as well.
Of course, I will do it. But I think there was only, Mukul, it was sold out, and there was only one ticket.
Right. But you can make up for it next time.
Oh, sure.
Right?
Don't worry. With a great bottle. I think he had a good champagne when he came. I gave good champagne to Surya. Rohinath.
And Dr. Ramani, do you have 2 minutes for me?
Please go ahead, madam.
Years ago, this is 1914.
1914.
Sorry, it's 2014. My mother died, and I was sitting in Pune feeling really low, and I put on Doordarshan, some Indian channel, and I heard your mother singing a bhajan. It was so moving. So touching. I rang up Surya in Calcutta and he called you, I think, and told you.
Yes, he did. You know, she was an incredible soul, more than a mother, friend, everything.
I
She
know.
didn't bother. She just loved music.
And
Amazing.
a singer, right.
Amazing.
Thank you, madam. Thanks very much.
I think Giridhar has a question. One question.
Yes, I'll get back to that. But I think before that, I think Miss Maya Joshi would like to say something, and she has been raising hand for some time.
Okay, Maya, go. Maya, bol. कुठे आहेस? कहाँ पे हो?
No, you have to switch on the microphone, sir. We are not hearing anything.
Balraman, everybody drinking something. So they are.
Yeah, now.
Can you hear us?
Yes.
But I can't see you.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Trilok, you said about a quality of yours. That was the courage of conviction which you had from the kid.
Courage of conviction from my Sadguru. That's what you said.
Yeah, that's the great quality which you have had. And Dharwad is famous for the great musicians, including Shobha Mami. And you will also come one day here to play for us.
Shiva Mani, poor guy got COVID, but he's getting better. He's still dancing. He's dancing in the hospital, sending me photos. I said, "You got COVID? How come you're dancing there?" You know.
No, but he remembers you as your guru.
Yes.
So,
he loves me. Giridhar loves me. They're all well wishers. I have blessings from all of them. I'm so thankful.
Thank you.
And from you too also, Anand.
Thanks a lot. And I'll just request Giridhar to go ahead, please.
Namaste, Trilok sir. It's such a big blessing to see you like this. And I just wanted to ask you one thing that I know for years you've been playing, performing, practicing. So at this age, at this what is practice means to you now? I want to know, what is practice with respect to music? It's not necessarily the physical, playing with the instrument. So it could be anything. So what, according to you, is riyaz or practice now for you?
I would say practice without thinking. I have to do this, I have to do that. You can say it is like a prayer, or you can say, I just do it, let it all go and not analyze so much. Before you would analyze, this. I just play, whatever comes out, and I play that, and I try to find a way to compose it. And I want to enjoy what I play. Now we are all on bonus. Everybody is on bonus. Nobody will know who will be the next one. Come. So I want to enjoy this part and use music as Atmagyan. To go inside yourself, whatever it is, whatever you call it. Names don't bother, but it will give you more satisfaction than you'll find yourself at least. That's what I do. In the morning I go, and sometimes I don't even bother if I don't play. Before I used to feel bad. Oh, I have not practiced. I have not done this. I said, so what? I've served music quite a bit. Now let music serve me a little bit. Give me some sambar dosa. Music should give me some nice wine. I've served music quite a bit. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Now it has to be the other way around, little bit.
Yes, definitely. Yes. Thank you.
Nice to see you. Everybody from Dharwad, Bangalore. There are no Germans only, Balaramani. I can't hear you.
No, I was just saying you and me. We will count it as Germans.
Yeah, I told you, no. See, I told you in the beginning, you will find all, but this is what we are lacking in Germany. We have to change this formula. That they have to take us seriously. I've been trying for 40 years,
But we will do it. I think Mr. Surya Kumar Bose sir already said that to have
will do it. Surya is the right person.
Yeah, great concert, and also with the new CG sir also, for him a premiere of India week as well. So maybe we can do it something grand as well in that. But
something that they will never forget in their whole life.
Let's do that way, sir. But I think now time is up and it's already 8 past. So I think also from various parts of the world, I'd like to thank you heartfelt for this time. And I think as I have seen, so many people have been remarking and questioning, putting the questions. I mean, they are so much of devotion and they feel like, you have inspired them so much. And for us, and for me personally, it's really a great honor to be with a legend. And I thank the Consulate General of India for this opportunity with all humility. And thank to every one of you for being here. And I'm sure that we will continue to invite great people to this Wednesday Dialogue series. And you can also certainly send your suggestions to the consulate, so that if you think somebody we should invite for the next events, we will do it for sure. And with this, thank you once again. Thanks a lot. And before
Can I tell you just something about my cousin brother?
Yes, please go ahead, sir.
His daughter got the best remarkable scientist. She's a remarkable scientist. I'm very proud of her.
Fantastic. Proud of her for sure.
From Anand Joshi and Maya Joshi.
Please, absolutely. Congratulations, sir.
India did it.
Yeah. And now, before we close, as it's also a tradition, I will give the final words for our Consulate General, sir, to speak about it so that we can close the program. Consul General, sir, please.
Thank you very much, Bala. Thank you, Trilok. It has been a fascinating evening. I mean, if you want to know Trilok as a musician, you just go to YouTube. There are hundreds, thousands of, excellent music where you can learn what he is, what he has done. So the one thing which struck me was that we got to know a little bit of Trilok Gurtu behind the legend, the human being. And for that reason, I think this evening has been fascinating. I didn't even realize that it's already 8 o'clock, and I'm sorry that we have to leave it here. I wish we had more time. And it's been a fascinating evening. So
we can do it again sometimes whenever we have time. No problem.
Maybe we can do this again, but it has been fascinating. And thank you very much. It's been an honor. It's been fascinating evening. And thank you everyone for participating in this evening's program. And thank you again, Bala.
Thank you, sir. It's certainly a great honor and privilege. Thank you, everyone. Wish you a very good night. Stay safe, stay healthy. All the best. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, Trilok.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Trilok, sir.